So here's what a leader does. A leader sees a problem as an opportunity for advancement. A true leader sees an opportunity or sees a problem as an opportunity for advancement. When engineers was building a train tunnel beneath a Japanese mountain, they had a problem with leaking water as they was building the tunnel. They could have simply just, Pastor Weldon, pumped the water out. Just got rid of the water. Instead, they bottled it up and sold it as mineral water. Within a few years, they built a brand worth over $50 million a year. Now they're building a tunnel under the water, and of course the water is leaking in, and instead of just pumping it out, Brother Donnie, they say, you know what? Let's bottle this up and just say it's mineral water. They saw they had a problem, but they saw it as an opportunity for advancement. They even paid for the project. Isn't that awesome? Amen. So you see the problem, but you use it for an opportunity to advance. That is what we call self-manifestation leader. That's a self-manifestation leader. Number 4, the purpose for true leadership is to produce leaders. If you're not producing leaders, if you're not mentoring someone, and I'll say it, to take your spot, if we're not careful, we'll start doing exactly what I said earlier in the chapter. We'll start being Lord over them. And we was not created to Lord over them. We was created to produce more leaders under us for to send them out. Because once you stop reproducing yourself, you actually stop growing yourself. Because you're taking so much in and you're not giving anything out, you have no room to put anything else in. So when we are assigned and we are promoted to leadership, let's make sure that we look for the next leader to begin to input and train them. If we're not teaching and training the next generation to take our place, we are failing that generation. We're failing it. Number 5, leadership is not about control, but service. We talked about that. Here's what a good leader does. A good leader leads the people from above them. Sounds pretty good, don't it? But a great leader leads the people from within. That's the difference. He gets right where they are. A true leader don't tell you to go run and jump off of the mountain. He say, follow me. Where are we going? We're going to jump off this mountain. He's the first one to run. He's the first one to tackle the problem head on. Because that's what a true leader does. Number 6, leadership is not about power, but empowerment. It's not about power, but empowerment. It is more about influence and relationship than it is about control and giving orders. I told you this is different. This is totally different. This is, the world teaches totally different when it comes to leaders. You know, and so, in other words, the greater your influence, the greater your leadership. Thus, if you want to improve your leadership, you need to improve your influence. So, if the people that are following you cannot get them to do anything with a Nani, you have to threaten them. Maybe it's because of lack of influence. Maybe they're looking at me slacking in some areas. It's okay, it's quiet. Talk to myself too. Because when I get in these positions, you have to realize now the red dot is pointed at me. Now it's not do what I say, it's do what I do. How many of you remember your children growing up in the home and you accidentally did something that you told them not to do? Yes. And then what's the first thing they said? You did it. You did it. Because you see, church, we are in the leadership position. Don't have to have the title, whether we recognize it or not. Because if you're a parent, if you are a sister, brother, whoever it is, you are in a leadership role. Somebody is watching your life. Somebody is watching you from afar, and somebody is watching you at close distance. My question to you and I today, what is it that they're looking for? What I said, if they're looking for Jesus, let them find him in me. Amen? Another example. If you first need to accept that influence doesn't come from position. Influence comes from caring for others. If you don't care for people, you cannot influence them. If you cannot influence them, you cannot lead them. It's through relationships that the leader gains influence. And you've all heard this quoted. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Number 7, going through pretty quick. Leadership is not about people, but purpose. Number 8, leadership is more about becoming than doing. So, what is the definition of leadership? And I'm going to quit right there. I tell you, I got like 9 notes. I'm not going to get through this, Pastor. So, what is the definition for true leadership? Remember this if you don't remember anything else. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, produced by a purpose. Can I read that one more time?
Yes, sir.
Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, produced by a purpose. In other words, it's like this. The leader needs to know his strengths as a carpenter knows his tools, and as a musician knows the instruments at his or her disposal. A godly gifted leader in a local church, and I'll leave you with these 2 scriptures, appear in 2 passages. Romans 12:8 in the New Living Translation says this: if your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it's giving, give generously. If God has given you the leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. That's verse. 1 Corinthians 12:28. Here are some of the parts of God has appointed to the church, and I'm going to jump right down to the verse. Those who have the gift of leadership. Everything rises and falls with leadership. The more skillful and effective the leadership, the better the organization of the church runs. The more potential for growth increases. There are several characteristics of those with leadership, with spirit of leadership. First and foremost, they recognize their position by appointment of God. No one can tell you a leader but God. A lot of people, they said, do not even recognize that they are a true leader until they begin to see a problem and they begin to try to fix the problem. And when they actually fix the problem and they begin to use their gifts and their talents that God has placed in them, and then another person look at that person, that they fall in line with that individual. And that person becomes the leader. Because most leaders, they'll be doing something, they'll see the problem, they'll start doing it, and they'll start doing what they feel that God has called them to do, and then God enables them to work it out, and the individual sees that, they are automatically just get in line with them. And then you'll look back and you say, what are you doing? You say, oh, we're following by your lead. You're leading by what? An example. And so church, if you can stand at this point, I'm not finished. I'm just going to say I'm through at this point here.